How's everybody doing? I'd like to welcome you all back to the Business Sense channel. Thanks again for all of your support. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, only if you like my content. I wanted to talk this week about Altria, a company that I talked a little bit about last week in reference to an indirect play to the marijuana industry. What I didn't talk about last week was how you could also use Altria for a indirect play in the big brewery business. Okay, here we are post Super Bowl, and for those of you who did not know, Altria is a major player in the brewery business. Okay, I shared with you last week and told you about their Saint Michel wine holdings. They own Saint Michel outright. They own 100% of that company. Okay, but what you may not have known, some of you may not have known, is that Altria, again, aka Philip Morris USA, okay, is also a huge investor in AB InBev, okay? That's Budweiser, all right? AB InBev, all right? It's the largest brewery on the planet, okay? No one's bigger than them, okay? They own roughly 10% or more stake in AB InBev. And the reason that came to be was because most people probably did not know is that Philip Morris USA used to own Miller Brewing Company outright, okay? Years ago, Philip Morris spun out Miller Brewing Company, and what had happened is that a company by the name of South African Breweries purchased Miller Brewing Company and then became SAB Miller. Okay, so within that merger, that acquisition, okay, Philip Morris maintained a 27% stake in the now SAB Miller, all right, and also had a few executives on the board. So they had that investment for many years, and then the largest acquisition in brewery history took place. Miller, SAB Miller, and AB InBev merged, creating the largest brewery in the world. So what happened after that, with Altria's 27% stake in Miller became a 10+% stake in AB InBev. Okay, so all of the commercials that you saw during the Super Bowl, like Michelob, Budweiser, Bud Light, all right, Bud Light Seltzer, all of that is AB InBev, okay, and AB InBev pays Altria tons of cash in dividends. So if you are a shareholder like I am in Altria, you get paid from Altria, who gets paid from AB InBev. So that's another idea of how you can also play Altria. And another reason that I wanted to bring up Altria this week is when we talked last week, Altria was roughly trading at about $50 a share. It fell about roughly 3 points a couple of days later because they wrote down another $4.1 billion in assets for tax reasons. They wrote another $4.1 billion off, okay? Off of their books for tax purposes. A few months ago, okay, they wrote off an additional $4.5 billion stake in Juul. So they're roughly well over $8 billion now, in write-downs of Juul. Juul has been a regulatory nightmare for Altria. Okay, but moving forward, I don't see any reason that Juul will continue to be a thorn in Altria's side. Altria has so many so many investments out there, and they own so many businesses directly and indirectly, that this company is just a powerhouse. But I wanted to bring this back up strictly because when I mentioned the stock last week, it had fallen a couple points, and now it has gifted us with another buying opportunity because it's trading in the $46 range, and it may even fall further, creating an even better buying opportunity. So I put my money where my mouth is. A couple of days ago, I purchased one block of shares, and then just yesterday I purchased another block of shares. Okay, so that's just another idea of how you can play Altria, which is again a heavy dividend operator. But these companies are very, very closely aligned. Okay. There's always deals being made with these companies. You probably don't even recognize this in my hand, but I'm holding up a picture of 3 different companies right now. Okay. The third one, which you may not have been paying attention to, is down here in the corner right here. Okay. That's Jim Beam. Okay. Jim Beam and Budweiser co-created this beer. Okay, this is a beer aged in bourbon barrels. Okay, Jim Beam right there, that's owned by Suntory, which is a Japanese company. Okay, Suntory Holdings. So pay attention to some of these things, because this is where the cash flow comes from. All right, fast moving consumer products. Okay, or you may hear fast moving consumer goods or consumer staples. All right. So this is where the cash flow comes in. All of these companies, these products like this, they move fast daily. Coffee, alcohol, tobacco, all of these types of products, they move very fast, and that's why a lot of these companies pay huge dividends. And I'm primarily a dividend investor, so that's why I pay close attention to dividend paying stocks. Okay, you may also wonder why on my channel I show a lot of consumer staples products. The reason for that is I was in the consumer staples business years ago, and I understand the way that these companies move. I understand the way that they think, and I have a love for the fast-moving consumer goods business. I understand it, and I like the way that it moves, and I like the dividends that they kick out. So, again, I'm not recommending that you buy Altria or AB InBev or Suntory or any of these companies. I'm sharing information with you solely for informational purposes, so that you can assess some things and see if some of these companies may work for you. I'm not a financial planner. I do stock research, and here on the Business Sense channel, I try to give you a roundabout way and ideas of just understanding how some of these companies move, some of the things that they're invested in, and hope that that it brings you some some information that you or your family and friends may be able to use. So I look forward to giving you some more information. What I'm going to do in future videos is I want to share more with the correlation with some of these joint ventures like Budweiser and Jim Beam, because what's happening right now in the world, I like the way that things are going, because it's kind of showing a lot of these foreign companies, like companies out of China, companies out of Japan. They're making these huge acquisitions, and it's hard. It's really hard to keep up with who really truly owns who. A lot of times in America, we solely look at the brand, but we don't really know what the brand is connected to or who really owns the brand. But when you're going to be out there spending your money and you're trying to make some money, through investing, you really have to know, how the cards and the pieces align. because investing is not solely about the numbers. It's also as much of an art as it is a science. So that's how I try to play the game, understanding who the players are, what moves some of these players are making, and assess my decision from there. So look, I'm not going to talk too much about that one. I'm working on some other things, and give me a thumbs up, and hit me shoot me a like, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.